So during a recent buyer's consultation, a really great question came up, and I wanted to share it with you all because it's actually a really common point of confusion in the home buying and selling process. The buyer asked, who actually pays for closing costs? And I think that the best way to answer it is to first define what closing costs are, because both buyers and sellers have them. For buyers, closing costs usually include things like lender fees, a full year of homeowners insurance, prepaid taxes, and things like an appraisal and credit report fee. Basically, all of the costs associated with finalizing your loan and taking ownership of the property. Now, for sellers, closing costs are a little bit different. They typically cover things like title insurance for the buyer, the real estate commissions, and their share of property taxes up until the day of closing. So when people ask who pays for closing costs, the real answer is both parties do. Each side has their own set of expenses that are necessary to complete the sale. Now, in some cases, depending on how hot or cold the market is, or whether it leans towards a buyer's market or a seller's market, a seller might offer to cover part or even all of the buyer's closing costs as part of a negotiation or an incentive, but that's not guaranteed, and it's something that your agent will help you evaluate and negotiate on a case-by-case basis. If you are budgeting to buy, a good rule of thumb is to plan for about 3 to 5% of the purchase price for closing costs in addition to your down payment. And we can always look for ways to minimize or offset those costs during your offer process. So if you are thinking about buying or selling and want a clearer idea of what your closing costs might look like, I would love to help. Every transaction is a little bit different, and my goal is to make sure that you feel confident, informed, never surprised at the closing table. So reach out anytime if you would like to talk through what to expect. I'm always happy to help make the process simple and stress-free.